You went to give your rabbit a cuddle, had a peek inside one ear, and saw a bit of brown gunk down there, and now you are wondering if that is normal or if it is the start of something you need to worry about. It is a really common thing to spot, and the honest answer is that a little bit of wax is usually nothing, but it is worth knowing how to tell the difference between normal and not normal. I'm a fellow rabbit owner here in Singapore, not a vet. Everything here is the gentle check I do on my own bunnies and the questions I see come up over and over in the local rabbit groups. This is not medical advice. It is one owner showing you how to keep an eye on those ears, how to do a light clean when it is genuinely needed, and being very clear about the point where you stop and let a real rabbit-savvy vet take over. Ears are one of those parts of a rabbit we tend to ignore until something looks off. But a quick weekly look takes 10 seconds, and it is one of the easiest ways to catch a problem early, before it turns into a scratching, head-shaking, miserable bunny. So let me walk you through what healthy looks like, what to do about a bit of wax, and the warning signs that mean hands off and phone the vet. Let us start with what a healthy ear actually looks like, because you need a baseline. The inside of a healthy rabbit ear is pale pink, clean, and pretty much dry. There might be a tiny bit of pale wax near the opening, and that is completely normal. The same way we have a little wax too. It should not smell. There should be no thick brown or black crusty buildup, no redness, no flaky skin, and no bald scratched patches around the base of the ear. If you gently part the fur and look in and it is calm and pink and quiet, that ear is happy. Take a mental photo of that, because the whole game here is noticing when it changes. Now, ears are not all built the same, and this matters a lot in Singapore. If you have an upright-eared rabbit, a Netherland dwarf type, or a lion head, the ears stand up and they get plenty of air flowing through them. Those ears tend to stay drier and need less fuss. But if you have a lop, a Holland lop, or a mini lop with those gorgeous floppy ears, the ear canal is folded over and closed off from the air, and a warm, closed, humid little space is exactly where wax builds up and where trouble likes to start. In our climate, with the heat and the humidity we live in all year, lop ears need a more regular check than upright ones. That floppy ear is adorable, but it is also a little greenhouse, so how do you actually check? Pick a calm moment, have your rabbit on your lap or on a towel on the floor, and gently fold back or lift the ear flap so you can see down into the opening. You do not need to dig or pull hard, just enough to get a look. Do one ear, then the other. You are looking for that calm pink, and you are checking for anything that has changed since last time. A torch or your phone light helps. Talk softly, give a treat, keep it low drama, and it becomes a normal part of your weekly cuddle. While you are down there, give the outside of the ear a quick feel too, not just a look inside. Run your fingers gently along the ear and around the base where it meets the head. You are feeling for warmth, for any lumps, for scabby bits, and for fur that has gone thin or patchy from scratching. A rabbit that has been quietly bothered by an ear for a few days will often have a little bald scratched patch at the base before you ever notice anything inside. The warmth one matters in our climate too. A rabbit's ears are how they shed heat, so on a hot day the ears running warm is normal cooling, but one ear that is much hotter than the other, paired with the rabbit not wanting it touched, is a different story and worth noting. A small handling tip that makes all of this easier. Do the ear check at the same time every week, tagged onto something your rabbit already tolerates, like a quick weight check or a cuddle after their evening greens. Rabbits love routine, and if the ear look always happens at the same calm moment, they stop bracing for it. The rabbits that hate having their ears touched are almost always the ones whose owners only go near the ears when something is already wrong. Make it boring and frequent and your bunny will barely react. You never ever stick a cotton bud down into a rabbit's ear canal. Their ear canal bends, it is delicate, and a cotton bud just pushes wax deeper and can do real damage. The only thing you should ever clean is the wax you can already see, sitting right at the opening of the ear, where you could reach it with your finger. Nothing deeper. If the gunk is down inside where you cannot easily see or reach it, that is not a home job, that is a vet job. Do not go fishing. For the bit of wax you can see at the opening, a gentle clean is simple. Take a soft tissue or a clean cotton pad, wrap it over your fingertip and softly wipe away the wax that is sitting right there at the entrance. Dry or barely damp with a little plain warm water. That is genuinely it. You are wiping the doorway, not going inside the house. And please do not pour any liquid or any cleaning solution down into the ear yourself. Ear cleaners and ear drops are something a vet prescribes after they have actually looked inside and know what they are treating. Putting drops in a rabbit that has an unseen problem can make things much worse. How often should you check? A quick weekly look is plenty for most rabbits, and you only wipe the opening when you can actually see wax sitting there. For upright-eared bunnies, you might find you barely ever need to wipe anything. For lops in our humidity, a weekly look is the right habit, and an occasional gentle wipe of the opening keeps things tidy. Think of it as a quick health glance rather than a cleaning chore. Now the part that matters most, the warning signs that this has stopped being a cosmetic wax thing and become a real problem. And when you see these, you stop trying to fix it at home. The first sign is scratching. If your rabbit is constantly pawing at one ear or rubbing that side of its head along the floor, something is bothering them in there. The second is head shaking, a repeated flicking of the head like they are trying to shake something out. The third is a smell. Any sour or yeasty smell coming from the ear is a clear sign of infection. Fourth is the look of it. Thick, dark, crusty buildup, redness, swelling, or raw, scratched skin around the base. And the fifth, the most serious one, is a head tilt, where your rabbit's head is permanently cocked to one side. A head tilt can come from a deep ear infection, and it is an urgent thing. If you see any of those, the move is the same. You do not clean it, you do not buy drops off the shelf, you do not follow a remedy somebody posted in a group. You call a rabbit savvy vet and you get your bunny seen. An ear infection in a rabbit needs a proper look inside, often with an instrument, and it needs the right treatment chosen by someone who has examined your specific rabbit. A head tilt in particular is one of those see a vet promptly situations, because the sooner it is looked at, the better the outcome tends to be. I am a fellow owner telling you what I would do, and what I would do is pick up the phone. And if I have Singapore specific things to keep in mind, our humidity generally does make ear and skin issues more common here than in cooler, dry places, so the ear checks are not me being fussy, they earn their keep. The wax in a lop's ear holds moisture, and warm moisture is what trouble grows in, which is why a lop in Singapore is on a different schedule from the same lop in a cool, dry country. And if your rabbit lives in an air-conditioned room, which a lot of ours do to cope with the heat, just be aware of damp and condensation near where they sit, because a constantly damp environment does not help ears either. You want their space cool but not wet. One more local thing. A lot of us bathe or spot clean our rabbits more than we should because of the heat and because they get a mucky bottom in humid weather. Water getting into the ears during any kind of cleaning is a real way that ear infections start. So if you ever wipe your rabbit down, keep the head and ears dry and never tip a rabbit back in a way that lets water run toward the ear canal. Dry ears are happy ears. A damp ear in our climate is an invitation. It is also worth knowing that ear problems and dental problems can look connected because the roots of a rabbit's back teeth sit close to the ear and the tear ducts. So if your bunny has ear trouble alongside runny eyes, a wet chin, or going off their food, that is even more reason to get a proper exam rather than treating it as just an ear thing. A vet can see the whole picture. You and I, looking from the outside, cannot. Also worth a mention, mites. Ear mites are a separate thing from plain wax, and they show up as thick, crusty, flaky buildup deep in the ear, often with a lot of scratching. You cannot reliably tell mites from an infection from heavy wax just by looking, and you should not try to. That is exactly the kind of thing a vet diagnoses properly. So if you are looking at heavy crusty stuff and a lot of scratching, that is your cue to book a visit rather than guess. Let me pull this together into the simple version you can actually remember. Healthy ears are pink, dry, and quiet, with maybe a little pale wax at the opening. Check weekly, especially for lops in our climate. If you can see wax right at the ear opening, wipe it gently with a soft tissue and nothing more. Never push anything down into the canal, and never pour in drops or cleaners on your own. And if you see scratching, head shaking, a smell, dark, crusty buildup, or a head tilt, you stop and you get to a rabbit-savvy vet. That is the whole thing. Ears are easy to ignore right up until they are not, and a 10-second weekly look is one of the cheapest bits of care you can give. You will get a feel for your own rabbit's normal really fast, and once you do, you will spot a change straight away. If this was useful, come over to singaporerabbit.com. We send out a free weekly digest made for Singapore Rabbit owners, plain and practical, and we keep a directory of rabbit-savvy vets right there, so when you do need someone to look in those ears properly, you already know exactly who to call. It is all free and it is all made for owners here at home. And if you are finding these helpful, subscribe and stick around, because the next one is all about how to pick up and hold your rabbit safely without the scary mid-air panic. I will see you there.